What up, what up, what up? It's your boy D back at you with another video. And today we are going over 5 things in WWE history I would do differently. So I thought about this list. These are just 5 things I picked out. It's not the top 5. This is just 5 things I picked out that WWE missed the ball on, in my personal opinion. And this is what I would do differently for these things. So this is my list. If you guys have more things I should probably talk about and put in a list, let me know in the comments below. I would love to do another video of this. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, number 5, the Triple H and Kane Katie Vick storyline. That shit needs to just go. The only thing I would do differently about that storyline is it wouldn't exist. That storyline was so bad. It's embarrassing. If there is one thing embarrassing, if you don't know about the Triple H and Kane Katie Vick storyline, let me just put it to this, okay, of why this is so disturbing, why it's so distraught. Triple H gets in a casket and gets affiliated with a corpse wearing Kane's mask. Do I need to say anything else after that? No, that is wild behavior, especially when you have great workers like Triple H and great workers like Kane. You didn't need this. And this is during that time, this is right before Kane goes heel in 03 and Slow Chemical makes his fire ass theme song. This is right in the mix of the quote unquote Triple H reign of terror that we call it today. This just didn't need to exist. This is why this is the first thing off the bat that came to my mind when I was making this list. Yeah, no, this does not need to exist. There is one more storyline that I need to talk about that doesn't need to exist, and that leads me to number 4, Undertaker versus DDP storyline erased. DDP is one of the greatest names from WCW, one of the best champions from WCW. So when WWE bought WCW, DDP coming in the WWE, one of the first names I would like to see him against would have been The Rock. Because they were kind of similar. They were kind of both that cool character. Why? Oh, why did they have DDP come in to feud with The Undertaker? I'm like, okay, DDP versus The Undertaker. Not what I would have picked, but cool. I like it. It's unique. No, they don't have a normal match. They bring DDP in as a stalker to The Undertaker's wife at that time, Sarah. Now, with that being said, I just say this. I beg your pardon. A fucking stalker? You brought him in as a stalker? Nasty work. What in the WWE creative at that time thought having Diamond Dallas Page come in as a stalker was going to work? Because more or less, think about it. Yeah, you have Undertaker beat DDP. Are we not supposed to look at him as a stalker no more? You see what I'm saying? Like, that's like the things about it where I'm just like, who put that together and thought that was a great idea? DDP is a GOAT. And if anything about DDP, it was a WCW GOAT. And anything about DDP is Diamond Dallas Page needs to be in the Hall of Fame another time. I'm almost positive he's already in there. Put him in again. Put him in again for all the work he does with DDP Yoga, saving wrestlers' careers, saving their bodies. What he's done for Jake the Snake, what he did for Scott Hall, what he did for Buff Bagwell, what he did for Scotty Riggs. He needs to be, what he's trying to do for Lex Luger to get Lex Luger to walk. Put that man in a Hall of Fame by himself, because he 1000% deserves every single bit of it. Shout out to Undertaker and DDP, but if it's me, this storyline is getting wiped. Next on my list, we have the Fatal 4-Way at WrestleMania 2000, WrestleMania 16. WrestleMania 2000, the best match of the night was the TLC match. Well, it was the ladder match between the Hardy Boys, the Dudleys, Edge and Christian. Best match of the night, for sure. The Fatal 4-Way match, a McMahon in every corner. Cool idea. In reality, it should have just been The Rock and Triple H. This had no business to have Mick Foley and the Big Show in it. I understand Stone Cold was hurt. We all know that. We all get that. Stone Cold was hurt and injured, was not ready to participate or be in the WWE at the time. I'm with you. I get it. Triple H versus Rock was the hottest feud. It was the feud that was feeding families back then. And if you ask me, it's one of my favorite rivalries of all time. Their matches at Backlash, their match at Judgment Day, the ladder match that they had at SummerSlam. Bro, Triple H and The Rock have unbelievable chemistry. Why was it not Triple H versus The Rock at WrestleMania 2000? It makes no damn sense to me. I would definitely do, that's the match that I would do at WrestleMania 2000 is Triple H versus The Rock. You didn't need Mick Foley, who just retired, to have him come back. You didn't need the Big Show. It didn't make any sense. But Triple H versus The Rock, that would have been perfectly fine on that card, and that WrestleMania crowd would have still been just as much as packed. So that's what I would have done. Number 2, Macho Man versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania. That's what I would have did. Macho Man versus, I didn't even know until like a year ago, Macho Man and Shawn Michaels actually had a match. Because for me, it was my dream match. And then I was talking to my brothers about wrestling, and I was telling them one of my dream matches is Macho Man versus Shawn Michaels. And they looked at me like, oh yeah, that happened on a Raw. I said, excuse me? What? So then, thanks to good old YouTube, looked it up on YouTube, saw that they had a match. And the first thing I did when I saw them have a match, I got mad. Why? What the fuck was that not at WrestleMania? Because that's not even the Shawn Michaels who was like Shawn Michaels yet. He wasn't. That's not like 96 Shawn Michaels. That's not even 95 Shawn Michaels. That's not Shawn Michaels who became that guy yet. Macho Man versus Shawn Michaels at a WrestleMania would have fed families. I am sticking to it, and I am stamping it. How we never got Macho Man versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania, to me, is an absolute travesty. Like, I wanted to put Shawn versus Eddie Guerrero on here, but I do believe that they were supposed to do that, and then, unfortunately, Eddie Guerrero passed away. May Latino Heat, rest in peace, one of the greatest of all time. Macho Man versus Shawn Michaels was a match that should have happened at WrestleMania, and that should be something that we still talk about in WWE history, but unfortunately, that is not. And number 1 to close this list off for today is keeping ECW as One Night Stand. ECW One Night Stand was one of the hottest things in the 2000s. Let me tell you bro, what? When ECW One Night Stand is one of my favorite pay-per-views of all time. 05 and 06. Them pay-per-views were fire, especially 06 when you have Sabu versus Rey Mysterio in that match. The ending of that was nuts. Having John Cena versus RVD, that story was crazy. Edge comes out, spears Cena, the crowd booing the shit out of Cena. You see the signs. If Cena wins, we riot. Or you want to talk about 2005 when Paul Heyman cut that elite promo and said, this is not WWE. This is not World Wrestling Entertainment. This is EC fucking W. What? When he talks about JBL, the only reason why you're still champion is because Triple H didn't want to work Tuesdays. Edge, I got one name to say to you. Matt freaking Hardy. Come, bro, what? ECW? Those 2 shows is why I got into ECW. Why I had to go back and do the tapes. Because those shows got me hype. And the fact that they did rebrand it, it just didn't live up to the hype. Don't get me wrong. It did give me CM Punk. And it did give me Bobby Lashley. Just didn't need it. To me, I feel like Bobby and CM Punk would have found their way eventually anyway, because that's how talented they were. I think Christian would have found his way. We didn't really need to see Vince McMahon in a do-rag. We just didn't need it, in my opinion. So I would have kept ECW as a recurring one night stand each year. It didn't even have to be each year. It could have been every 2 years. It just would have made the pay-per-view more special. And with that, I'm going to get off ECW for a second before I go and leave y'all with this. Imagine in the early 2000s, after WWE bought WCW, let's say around ECW One Night Stand 2005, 2006, imagine if WWE did a WCW Nitro One Night Stand. Do you know how fire that could have been? When you have your Booker T's, you have your young, you still have Kevin Nash on your payroll probably at that time. You have still a lot of the old WCW guys. Everybody was younger. Hogan was younger. Flair was still in the company at that time. You probably could have called Scott Steiner to participate. Maybe, probably not, because he might have been in TNA, but don't quote me on that. Sting, unfortunately, wouldn't have been there. But could you imagine if they did a WCW one night stand show? It would have been so freaking cool. Why we never got a B one night stand is another question that I have that I would definitely love to know. But those are my thoughts on some things, on 5 things in WWE that I would do differently. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What would you guys do differently? Is there anything else you want me to talk about? Let me know. You know I duck no smoke. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It has been your boy D, Forever Gang, and until forever finds you.